we speak about the Anglo-Saxons, we are referring to a group of Germanic tribes identified primarily the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes who migrated from continental Europe to Britain during the 5th century. These tribes originated in regions that today form northern Germany and southern Denmark. They were independent, warrior communities sharing closely related West Germanic dialects and cultural values centered on loyalty, kinship, and warfare. The name England itself derives from Angleland, meaning the land of the Angles, indicating the lasting dominance of their identity.
The migration of the Anglo-Saxons cannot be understood without examining the Roman withdrawal from Britain in 410 AD. For nearly 4 centuries, Roman authority had maintained political order. Once that protection ended, Britain fragmented into weak regional powers. According to early sources, local rulers may have invited Germanic mercenaries to defend against northern threats. However, what began as assistance soon transformed into settlement and conquest. Broader pressures in continental Europe, including competition for land and instability during the migration period, also pushed these tribes westward. Britain represented both opportunity and vulnerability. Before the Anglo-Saxon arrival, Britain was predominantly Celtic-speaking. Archaeological and linguistic evidence suggests that many Celtic Britons were displaced westward into regions such as Wales and Cornwall. While some assimilation likely occurred, the linguistic evidence is clear. Celtic influence on English vocabulary is minimal. This indicates strong Anglo-Saxon cultural dominance. Unlike later multilingual empires, early Anglo-Saxon England did not produce a blended Celtic-Germanic language. Instead, a Germanic language replaced earlier linguistic traditions in most of the island. After arriving in the 5th century, the Anglo-Saxons did not simply settle, they reorganized Britain politically. They established multiple independent kingdoms, commonly known as the Heptarchy: Northumbria, Mercia, East Anglia, Kent, Essex, Sussex, and Wessex. These were not centralized states in the modern sense, but warrior-ruled territories governed by kings, supported by nobles and councils. Their political structure introduced Germanic legal traditions, including wergild, compensation payments for crimes, and oath-based justice systems. Society was hierarchical, divided into kings, nobles, thanes, freemen, and enslaved people. Agriculture became the economic base, and rural village communities became the dominant settlement pattern. This period laid the institutional foundation for what would later become the Kingdom of England. Initially, the Anglo-Saxons were pagan, worshipping Germanic gods such as Woden and Thunder. Their early culture emphasized loyalty, kinship, and warrior honor, values reflected in the epic Beowulf. However, after 597 AD, the Christian mission led by Augustine of Canterbury transformed Anglo-Saxon society. Christianity reshaped laws, morality, and education. Monasteries became centers of literacy and manuscript production. This religious shift also strengthened ties with continental Europe. Christianization did not erase Anglo-Saxon identity, it reshaped it. The Anglo-Saxons created early forms of governance that influenced later English systems. Kings ruled through councils known as the Witan, a body of nobles and clergy who advised on laws and succession. Legal codes were written down, especially under rulers like Alfred the Great, who promoted justice and learning in the 9th century. Alfred's reign was crucial. He defended England against Viking invasions and promoted the translation of Latin texts into Old English. This strengthened English as a written administrative language. Without this period of codified law and literacy, English may not have survived later foreign domination. The Anglo-Saxons brought West Germanic dialects to Britain. These dialects merged into what we call Old English, 449, 1066. Old English was highly inflected, grammatically complex, Germanic in structure, rich in compound words. Basic modern English words still come from Anglo-Saxon roots. Father, mother, house, bread, water, strong, good, come, see. Even today, the most common words in English are Anglo-Saxon in origin. That's not accidental. It proves structural dominance. The language also developed regional dialects West Saxon, Mercian, Northumbrian, and Kentish, which later influenced Middle English dialect development. The final major turning point in early English history came with the Norman conquest, when William the Conqueror defeated the English king at the Battle of Hastings. The Norman ruling class spoke a variety of French, which became the language of the court, law, and government for several centuries. While English survived among the common people, it absorbed thousands of French words, particularly in areas such as law, governance, art, and cuisine. This marked the transition into Middle English. Despite heavy vocabulary borrowing, the grammatical foundation remained Germanic, a legacy of the Anglo-Saxon settlers.
The Anglo-Saxons brought West Germanic dialects to Britain. These dialects merged into what we call Old English 449-1066. Old English was highly inflected, grammatically complex, Germanic in structure, rich in compound words. Basic modern English words still come from Anglo-Saxon roots. Father, mother, house, bread, water, strong good, come, see. Even today, the most common words in English are Anglo-Saxon in origin. That's not accidental. It proves structural dominance. The language also developed regional dialects, West Saxon, Mercian, Northumbrian, and Kentish, which later influenced Middle English dialect development. Anglo-Saxon literature began as oral poetry, not written books. Before monasteries recorded anything, professional poets called Scots recited heroic tales in mead halls. These poems celebrated loyalty, bravery, fate wyrd, and the bond between lord and warrior. The greatest surviving example is Beowulf, a long epic about a Geatish hero who fights monsters like Grendel and the dragon. This literature reflects a harsh, tribal society where honor meant survival. The tone is serious, fatalistic, and obsessed with reputation. There is no romantic softness here. Strength and loyalty define a man's worth. Anglo-Saxon literature was not only poetry. Prose developed strongly, especially under Alfred the Great in the 9th century. He promoted literacy and ordered translations of Latin works into Old English. The Anglo-Saxon Chronicle is a key historical text, recording events year by year. Law codes were also written, showing how society was structured and controlled. This prose was practical, designed to govern, teach, and preserve history. It reflects a society becoming more organized and centralized. After conversion to Christianity, 6th-7th centuries, Anglo-Saxon literature changed direction. Pagan heroism blended with Christian morality. Monks began writing and preserving texts in monasteries. One of the earliest known English poets is Caden, whose hymn praises God in simple Old English verse. Manuscripts like the Exeter Book contain religious poems, elegies, and riddles. Christian themes introduced ideas of sin, salvation, exile, and divine judgment. The warrior code didn't disappear, it was reinterpreted. Christ was sometimes portrayed as a heroic king leading loyal followers. Anglo-Saxon poetry often reflects loneliness and instability. Poems like The Wanderer and The Seafarer show individuals cut off from their lord or homeland. These are not adventure stories, they are meditations on loss. Life is temporary, glory fades, kingdoms fall. This mood mirrors real conditions, tribal warfare, invasion, and uncertainty. The speaker in these elegies reflects deeply on fate and divine will. It's raw and philosophical. There's no illusion that life is fair. Survival is uncertain, and exile is both physical and spiritual. In conclusion, the Anglo-Saxons were not merely invaders, they were the foundational architects of the English language. Their migration was driven by political opportunity, demographic pressures, and the collapse of Roman authority in Britain. Their settlement reshaped the ethnic composition of the island and established a Germanic linguistic base that proved remarkably resilient. Even after Viking influence and Norman domination, the structural core of English remained Anglo-Saxon. Modern English, despite its global vocabulary and historical layers, still rests upon the grammatical and lexical foundation laid by those Germanic tribes who crossed the North Sea in the 5th century.